Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. Now I will start to explain about the Alien vs Zombie, the game board. So now you can see that we have 5 row and the 9 column. And inside the game board, we can see that the raw and the healthy and the arrow and the pot and the alien in the middle of the game board and the 3 zombies in the random distribution of the game board. Now you can see that the alien, the life of the alien is 51, then the attack is 0, and zombie 1, the life is 95, the attack is 9, and the range is 3. Zombie 2, the life is 95, the attack is 9, and the range is 5. And zombie 3, the life is 95, the attack is 9, and the range is 3. So now we'll type the commands. Firstly, we type the help first. We want to show that the list of the command. Now you can see that there are 8 commands. With the up, it means that the alien will move up. Down, the alien will move down. Left, the alien will move left. Right, the alien will move right. Arrow, it means that we can simply change the direction of an arrow to up, down, left, and right. Save, it means by save the game. After we playing, we can save the game into the DSD and load. We can load again. After we want to play again, we can just load the previous game. Quick, after we finish playing and we want to stop the game, we can just type the quit command to quit out the game. So now I will start to move my alien. So this time, firstly, I want to move left first. I want to show that what will happen if I hit with the number 2 zombie. Okay, it shows that if the alien meets the zombie, the alien's attack is too weak to inflict any damage to zombie 2. This is because our attack of the alien is 0 and it cannot attack the zombie 2. So we just continue. Now we'll just give the command. This time I'll type right first. Now we found an arrow and the arrow help us to add 20 attack. So we just continue. Now we can see that our alien attack become 20. So just continue. Okay, we can see that the alien meets the zombie and the alien inflicts 20 damage to zombie 2. So we just continue. And okay, it shows that the alien's turn and the try is reset. So we just move left. Okay, just continue. Continue. Now, it shows that the alien pick up unhealthy objects. The alien health is now 71. Okay. Just continue, continue. Okay, it shows that the alien hit the border. Okay, now the 3 situation will make the alien to stop is first, the alien will hit the border. Second, the alien hit the rock. And the third, the alien hit with the zombie. Now, just continue. I will show you the second situation when the alien hit with the rock. So this time I will move up first. Be up. Now, you can see that the alien hit a rock. The hidden object is revealed. Let's see what is the hidden objects. Wow, it shows that there is nothing in the rock. So it shows nothing. So we just press to continue. Okay. So this time we will move down to attack the zombie 1. So we just move down. Wow. It shows that the alien missed the zombie and the aliens make 20 damage to zombie 1. So we just continue. Okay. Just down first. Down. Now I would like to make it down. Now because I want to show you how the situation when the alien hit with the port. So this time I will change the direction of this one, the row 5 and the column 3. So I just continue. I choose arrow. Wow, the system will show us how to enter the row of the row arrow object. So this time I'll press right. Sorry, up. Sorry, number 3, 5, and 3. So we will ask us to enter the direction to switch the arrow object to up, down, left, and right. So this time I will show up. So we just continue our alien movement. So we move right. Wow, it shows that we found an arrow and it adds 20 attacks. So we just continue. Wow. When we move out to meet the port will inflict 10 damage to the zombie. So we just continue. And you can see that both of the 3 zombie, their life was decreased by 10 due to the port attack. So the alien found an arrow and it adds 20 attack. So we just continue. Now we move to the left because the arrow direction shows that now he hit the bottom. So we just continue. Now this time I will show that I need to save the game first because I don't want to play already. Save. Now you ask us enter the file name to save the current game. So this time I'll enter test1.txt. Now it shows that the game saved successfully. Okay, we just continue. Now I would like to show you how the situation when I press log. Now it shows that do you want to save the current game? If I press N, now you ask us to enter the file name to reload. So I will have to test2 TSP. It shows that my game is loaded. So I just continue. Now it shows the command. This time I want to quit out the game. So I will just quit. Now it will come to the page by. So we will just quit out the game. Okay, that's my turn. So now I will pass the turn to Jihong.
All right, thank you, Weeping. Hello, everyone. I am Wong Hong. So basically, the program is a text-based game where the player controls an alien who must defeat a number of zombies. The player can issue commands to move the alien, change the direction of the arrow, save the game, and load a save game or quit the game. As you can see here, this is all the libraries that we use, and this is all the global variables that we use. Then here it is a string, an array of string called commands that contains the valid commands that the player can issue. Right now, we scroll down a bit, and as you can see here, for the part 1, we doesn't have this game display. This is I add after the part 1. I just use CL to display the welcome page at the first of our program. So the default setting function, init function, gamebot function, and the zombie function we already explained in part 1. So we just continue for part 2. The initialize function, initialize life function. This function generates a random integer between min life and max life using the random function from the C standard library. It then returns the value as the function's output. Right, the next function, attack opponent function. This function takes into two integer arguments, opponent life and attack. It then subtracts attack from opponent life and store the result back into opponent life. Note that the opponent life is passed in as a reference, denoted by the ampersand symbol before its name, which means that the change made to the opponent life within this function persists outside of the function as well. Alright, the next function, initialize range function. This function takes in an integer argument range, which is assumed to be initialized to a value. It then generates a random integer between min range and max range, adds these random integer to min range, and assign the result to range. The function then takes the minimum of range, port width, and port height, and returns this value as the function's output. Right, the next, initialize attack function. This function generates a random integer between min attack and max attack using the random function from the C standard library. It then returns this value as the function's output. And next, the zombie attack opponent function. This function takes in 7 integer arguments: opponent life, attack, range, this one here, opponent x, xy, and the opponent y. This function, it then checks if the distance between xy and opponent xy is less than or equal to the range in both the horizontal and vertical directions. If this condition is satisfied, it subtracts attack from opponent life. Note that the opponent life is passed in as a reference, denoted by the ampersand symbol before its name, which means that the change made by the opponent life within this function persists outside of the function as well. Right. Lastly, the collect function. Basically, this function is like me to collect all the function above so that I can easily call in the main function. This function initializes a random seed using the srand function from the C standard library, which is necessary for generating random numbers. It then outputs the alien's life and attack using CL and loops over each zombie using a for loop. For each zombie, it outputs the zombie's life, attack, and range using CL. The range is generated using the initialize range function described earlier. Alright, that's all for me, and I would like to pass the turns to my next member to continue our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, okay, hello guys. My name is SUNTERRESAA Shankar. I would like to present about from what resetTrails. So, okay, I would like to start. resetTrails is a function that clears the console and displays the game board and collects the hidden objects and resets the game trails. And then it replaces each dot in the map with a randomly selected object from a list of game objects that we mentioned in a previous functions in the init. Okay, the resetTrail starts with the game board and collect function, and it shows a alien turns ends and retire reset every time the alien's turns ends or the alien hit the border or hit a rock or hit a unattacked zombie. Then it will replace the trail the left by alien with the game objects randomly. So PHV pot health arrow and with the empty spaces. We never included R because R is mentioned in the different functionality. I'll show you about that. Okay, next we go to the white moveAlien. This function moves the alien character in a given direction and performs various actions based on the type of objects encountered in the new position. If the alien hits the border, it will stops the alien's move, and it will print out a message that alien hit a border, and it will return to the main function again. And if it encounters a rock, as I said, we mentioned our rock here, that's why we never mentioned our rock in resetTrails. If it encounters a rock, it replaces the rock with a random game object, and it will stop the alien's turns from moving. The random object is found as the init function, and we will never include the R including this, because except R we have to replace the R with any random objects. We use a random function to randomize the objects here, and we use a new object to map as a random object, and we use a string for one as a true for the, and replace R with the object. And okay, then it will print out a message once it hit, and it replace the object, and we hit a rock, and the hidden object reveal depends on which object it replaced, and will end, and it will system pause it, and it will show the updated board and return to the main function once again. And if it hits by a P, which is a pod, it will instantly inflict 10 damage to zombie. This is Z life. Mentions that zombie's life negative or equal to 10, and it will print out a message: alien finds support, and alien inflicts the 10 damage to zombie. Another thing in this function, the moveAlien function, is the alien will check if the new position is occupied by a health object, which is each. If the health of the aliens is already equal to max life, which is 100, and it will print out a message that health is already full, and we use our loop else to if it is not equals to lesser than or equals to max life, it will add another 20 health to alien's life. Then it will print out alien picked up a health object, and alien's health is now the current health. And then if alien hit by any of the arrows, this is arrow for right, this is arrow for up, this is arrow for left, this is arrow for down. It will print out a message it found an error, and it will the errors function mainly to add attack 20 attack to alien's attack. So it will check also the arrow indicating direction. If left means it will move to left one position automatically without we have to comment another left arrow. And same goes to other arrows as well. And lastly, it will check the position is occupied with a new zombie, which is zombies are listed as numbers, and our number of zombies only can be until 9, so we make sure we have the 1 2 3 F until 9. First, it will, once it hit by a zombie, it attacks the zombie with its current state, and it will print out an alien meets a zombie and calculate the damage inflicted by alien. Initial integer damage equals to alien's attack, and it inflicts the damage to the zombie. If the damage more than 0, it will map the new alien, the zombie as a random symbol, and it will print out an alien inflicts how much damage to the zombie, and it will print out the zombie's place in the map. Else, if the A attack is equal to 0 or lesser than the damage, it will print out alias attacks too weak to inflict any damage to zombie, and it will return to the main function as well. Then we have a moveAlien. This both function to basically leave a trail when the alien moves to a new position. This is the new these both are functions for determine the alien's position, the new current position and old position. And system pause and game board to update the game board and collect the alien's health and alien's attacks, zombies health, the stuffs, and we'll back to moveAlien function as well. So that's all for moveAlien. Next we go to a SwitchArrow. SwitchArrow function is a member function of a game program. It prompts the enter user the enter row of an object column of the arrow object on the game board and allows the user to switch the direction of the arrow object based on the user input. The function checks if the object in the provided location is an arrow or not, and if it is an arrow, then the function will ask the user input to input the new direction of the arrow object, and calls the game board functions and collect function to display the game state. These are the functions for if which arrow to react. Up means up, it change to this direction. If down means it change to down. The rest is continuous well. The next function I will talk about is the askCommand function. The askCommand function is responsible for prompting the user for a comment and processing the comment accordingly. It uses a while loop to continually prompt the user for a command until the users enter the quit command, at which point the function exits and terminates the program. Inside the while loop, the function first prints a prompt asking the user for a comment and then uses a get line to uses a get line this one sorry uses a get line function to read the user's input as a string and uses vs as an argument to ignore any leading white space in the input. The function then uses a series of conditional statements to determine which action to take based on the user's input. For example, if the users enter help, the function will calls the printHelps function. Later I will explain about it, to print a list of available comments. If the user enters one of the directional comments, right, left, down, or up, the function calls the moveAlien with the appropriate x and y values to move the alien in the direction. If the user enters arrow and the function calls the SwitchArrow to allow the user to switch the direction of an arrow on the game board. If the user enters save, the function calls saveMap to save the current game board to a file. If the user enters a load, then the function calls loadMap to load a previously saved game board from a file. Then if the user enters quit, the function sets the quit flag to true and prints a message to the console before calling exit to terminate the program. If the user enter an invalid comment, the function prints an error message to the console and returns to beginning of the while loop to prompt the user for another comment. Okay, that's all for the that's all for. And after each comment is processed, the function calls gameboard and collect to the update the gameboard and collectibles. The collectibles such as A life, A attack, Z life, and Z attack. The function also uses system shells to clear the console before printing the updated game board and collectibles to prevent the console output from becoming cluttered. Then lastly, I want to talk about a function that printHelps. That printHelps basically a function prints a list of available comments for the game, and it is called by the askCommand function when the user inputs help as a comment. The function starts by printing a message to the console that indicates a list of available comments is about to display. It then proceeds to loop through an array of strings containing the names of the available comments and printing each string to the console on a new line. And the function doesn't have any input parameters and doesn't modify any variables or state in the game. It simply outputs a list of available commands so the user can know what can they do in the game. Overall, the printHelps function is simple and straightforward function that serves an important role in providing the user with information they need to play the game. Then we lastly have a main function that initialize game display default setting in it, the whole functions that requires to run this whole program, and it will end with a return 0. If the quit program, if the user inputs quit in the askCommand, and it will immediately run the quit command. And that's all from my side. I would like to pass the next turn to my next member of the group.
Okay, thank you. Hi everyone, my name is WONG. Now I would like to explain about the save mate and the load mate. So this code defines a function called save mate. They save the current game state to a file with a user specified name. It declares with a string variable file name to store the name of a file where the game state will be saved. It prompts the user to enter the file name by displaying a message. Enter the file name to save the current game using cout. So it reads the input from the user, including any leading white space characters, and store it in the file name variable using getLine. This one. It displays a message. Game saved successfully using cout to let the user know that the game state was saved successfully. It paused the program using the system function to allow the user to read the message. It calls two functions, gameboard and collect at the end. It is not clear what these functions do as they are not defined in the code snippet. Okay, now I would like to explain for the logmap function. Sorry, let me scroll up a bit. So this code defines a function called logmap that logs a saved game from a file. After prompting the user if they want to save the current game state, it declares a character variable choice to store the user's choice to save the current game state, and a string variable file name to store the name of the file to log the saved game state from. It displays a message, do you want to save the current game? And we need to write the yes or no, Y or N. So using cout, and reads the user's input using scene function. It then converts the user input to lowercase using toLower. It enters a while loop that continues until the user's input to enters either Y or N. The function displays a message. Game saves successfully using cout. If the user chooses not to save the current game state by entering N, the function prompts the user to enter the name of the file to log the saved game state from and reads the user's input using cin. It displays a message, game log, using cout, and pause the program using the system function to allow the user to read the message. Note that the code does not actually log the game state from the file. It only prompts the user for a file name and displays some message based on the user input. The code to actually log the game state from the file is not included in this snippet. Okay, that's all for our group. Thank you.